Hi, I'm XENA, and I'm Gabrielle. You can see my hair's a mess. Yeah, your hair is all fucked up, Gabrielle, so what are we gonna do about it? Oh, mother, do you really gotta start a YouTube live stream about you talking about how my hair is messed up? Yeah, you do. I never clearing our throat again. So, we're doing this YouTube live stream. It's about 5:23 here. And I don't know what that's going to be in other time zones. So if anyone's on a different time zone, it might be earlier or later for them. So anyway, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day in the United States. Yeah, a day XENA said that everybody says they're how thankful they are for everything they have, you know. And the beginning to Thanksgiving is kind of out there. Come fix your hair. Well, sad for clearing my throat. Your hair's still a mess. I flare to you, Gabrielle. Your hair just keeps on staying a mess. Sorry for clearing my throat. Well, mother, I'm sad about that. But there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, you can comb your hair. Anyway, the origin to Thanksgiving Day, the beginning to Thanksgiving Day is different. It's not the same. It's unlike others. Now, we all know that Thanksgiving isn't not just something in the United States. Canada does it too, but they do theirs in October on the first Monday. And the United States does theirs in November, close to the last Thursday. But that wasn't always the case, you know. For a long time, I thought someone came on. No one's on. Well, that wasn't the case. For a long time, XENA says Thanksgiving was on sundriest days in November. But then eventually they had to make it where it would be done in November, I guess, out of convenience, I guess. There are others out there that think other holidays should be undone, should be shifted from what day they were on, but it is what it is. So, mother, so let's talk about the beginning of Thanksgiving, or at least the United States one of Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, you gotta fix your hair, Gabrielle. Well, no one's watching, Mom. I don't care if no one's watching the YouTube live stream or not. You gotta have your hair right. I'm a doll, mother. You know. I came from games again. Yeah, well, I came from games again, too. And I came from Amazon, too. And my hair isn't as fucked up as yours. So you can't use that as an excuse. So let's go into the origin, the beginning. The beginning of the United States Thanksgiving goes back to 1620 YL, when the European Englanders left England and moved to North America. And this would set up the United Colonies from 1620 YL to 1776 YL. Then it would become the United States. A lot of these men and women were unprepared. A lot of them didn't have enough food or drink, so a lot of them died from dehydration and starvation. A lot of others died from hyperthermia, let's not forget that, and some died from other illnesses and sicknesses. Since back then, ship ride isn't how it is now. If you went on a sailing ship, chances are you would be at sea for a long time, months, weeks, maybe years. We don't know how long they were at sea. We don't know how long it took them to get from England to Northwest Land. But the word the word America was a borrowed word, a European Italic Latin borrowed learned word. We don't know that. Either they weren't booking it down, or somebody didn't think it was important. Either way, when they got there, it was winter. Well, it wasn't actually winter, it was actually fall, late fall. But most men and women call late fall winter, since during that part of fall, it tends to get cold and snow starts to fall. But it was actually late fall. And none of them actually were ready for this. Oh, yes, they had been ready for fall and winter over in England. Don't get me wrong, but they were not ready, since there was no houses. They had no food or drink except what they probably had on the boat. And a lot of them didn't have any shelter. Now, during this time, probably a lot more of them probably died from hyperthermia. And the inborn landers, some of them came curious about them. A lot of them probably were not curious about them. A lot of them had runs in with what they called white men and white women. And the Reds, they had runs in with Europeans, with white, okay? There was Leif Erikson. There was Christopher Columbus. Hell, there was you can make an argument for John Smith. Now, none of these were but this would be a stick. So a bunch of natives decided that they would go and see what was going on. And a lot of them ended up befriending these outlanders, because that's what they were. To them, they were outlanders, and they were. After each one learned the other one's speech, or at least learned borrowed words, they began to teach them how to hunt, how to plant their own fruit and vegetables. They started to, teach them all kinds of things that they would help them out. So over a year goes by, and one day, one of the head of the team, I guess, his name's not mentioned, but the head of the team of the inlanders, Squanto, they talked to him and said they were going to have a meal to give thanks to God for everything that went good, for outliving illnesses, for outliving hyperthermia and dehydration and starvation, for learning new skills that would help them in this new land. Squanto goes back and tells them. And after that, both teams of men and women sit down and have what was the first Thanksgiving. Now, was it on Thursday? I don't think so. Was it in November? Yeah, probably in November, but I really don't know if it was in November or not. Probably was in November, but it wasn't on Thursday. And Gabrielle, that's a good saga and tale of the first Thanksgiving. But as I'm going to tell you right now, daughter, there is a lot more to it than we think. There are so many other, things that they leave out, or stuff that happen and no one really knows about. I know a lot of men and women, some of them seek wrong with Thanksgiving for both the United States and Canada. They say that it's basically just a holiday that basically it was the outlanders that came in and took the land away from the inlanders after learning skills and befriending them. Well, that shit happened later on. And sadly, that's in the past, and it was a bad thing, but there's nothing we can do about it now. There's a lot of evil shit that one team of men and women due to another team of men and women. It's sad it happened. But we can't let that besmirch, Thanksgiving, because the meaning of Thanksgiving is good. So anyway, you should always be grateful for what you have all year round, not just on Thanksgiving Day. Now, Canada does it too, but Canada's Thanksgiving, we don't really know, not really that much about it. If someone from Canada can tell me about their Thanksgiving and how it got started, I would like to know, but I don't really know. All we know is that it was done in October, that it's done on the first Monday in October, and that's all we know. We don't know anything else about it. And Libya, another land, also does Thanksgiving in October too, but nothing is known about it. Why is it that we only know about our Thanksgiving, or at least the holiday that we celebrated? Why we don't know about other Thanksgiving? I would like to know if Canada's Thanksgiving is the same Thanksgiving that the United States has. I would like to know if the beginning to that was the same thing. But how Canada and the United States came into being were almost very similar, but at the same time, very different. See, the United States started out as colonies of England, where Canada started out as a colony of France, but then eventually England eventually took it over after England won a war against France. But I would assume that the beginning of their Thanksgiving is almost the same to ours, since both men and women probably went through the same hardships to get to Canada like others got to the United States. So I would assume that there was a lot of things, but the truth is I don't know about Canada's Thanksgiving, and I should ask, because I don't know. Well, no one's on here, Gabrielle. No one's on here. It was just me talking to myself. Oh, Mom, give it time. It's only 5 o'clock. Well, I gave it a lot of time, Gabrielle, and no one's coming on this YouTube live stream. I told you, 5 in the evening is a bad time for these men and women. It's a bad time if you're in Pacific. It's a bad time if you're in Central or Mountain or Atlantic or whatever. Hell, it's a bad time when you're if you're an Eastern. Well, it's only 6, Mom. I mean, it's only 5. Oh, well, it's going to be 6 soon, Gabrielle. And if someone doesn't come on here by 6, we're just going to end this YouTube live stream. And it'll be the first live stream we ever did with no one on it. My hand's starting to hurt now. So you go and say some shit. I got to take care of Dylan. Yeah, as my mother Xena said, we don't really know anything about Canada's Thanksgiving. We don't know if their Thanksgiving is just the same Thanksgiving we do. We don't know. We don't know if the beginning to theirs is the same as ours. Point is, we only know there's only a little bit what we know about ours. A lot of men and women, don't really know how the saga or tale started. Now, they're going to say there were books, that they kept books, and they wrote down everything. Well, where were these books that the first European Englanders who came to that part of North America, where were the books that they kept, that they were booking down all the things that were going on? I'm sure the books are somewhere in some saga house somewhere. And they're probably kept underneath lock and key and probably in some glass case. And the books are probably so old that even that you're going back to 1620, they're probably so old that you're not even allowed to even touch them. They might fall apart. I don't know. But the point goes, I don't know. But I guess they must have been keeping some booking of it. of the saga and tale. But they didn't really mention too many names. Like the only name you ever hear is Squanto. You don't hear the other names from the other, the other native, the other inborners. You don't hear names from the other outlanders. You don't really hear in too much about that stuff. It's almost if the saga and tale was speeded up really fast, and they just wanted to get boom, 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 get through it. So they just made a very quick, a very fast saga out of it. They took a long saga, a long tale, and they just basically cleaned it of everything. And the only thing they kept in it was came from England to a new land, had hardship, got befriended by inlanders, and learned skills and were thankful for outliving and learning the skill. They gave thanks to God and their new friends. They don't really tell you anything else. They don't tell you how the ship ride went. They don't tell you, what they did when they first got there. They don't tell you all this stuff. The only things you know about the European Englanders that left was that they were Christians, and that they did not, and they wanted to go somewhere where they could be on their own and worship God and Jesus in their way, and that they basically felt that the church or the worship house they were going to wasn't, onlooking them for that. That's a little backstory about it. But at the end of the day, that's all you know. I mean, now some men and women out there might think that basically they didn't put any names down. Well, I think at one point it was a long saga and long tale, and then someone, shortened it down, and what you got was a shorted one. Now, is Thanksgiving both federal and belief? Well, the answer to that is both. It's a federal holiday, given the fact that the United States celebrates it, and it was deemed a federal holiday, and that everyone at federal, state, county, and local got the day off, except there's certain jobs where you got shifts. Unless they're shift jobs, and it's different saga. It's a day of worship too, since you also are giving thanks to God for everything that you have. But you should also be thankful and giving thanks all year round, not just one day a year. How is Dylan doing? Dylan's doing good. All right, Xena said I had to deal with Dylan. Looks like nobody come on my YouTube live stream, which is really sad. I mean, I was waiting this whole time to do a YouTube live stream. I thought that, why does my head look crooked? Is my head crooked, or is it just how the lightness taker taking it? Anyway, Xena says, I'm really sad. I thought I'd be getting a lot more men and women would be coming on my YouTube live stream. I really thought that, that I would there'd be chatting in the box by now. But it looks like I picked the wrong time, a wrong day. They're way too busy, way too iffin'. Well, even if I did a YouTube live stream tomorrow after I go out to eat for Thanksgiving and it would still be a busy iffin' day. And some might say, well, Xena, let me see if my head goes up. Yep, my head goes up. How far to go? Yeah, I guess as far as it goes, and it comes back down. My head crooked? No, my head's not crooked. I would think by now that I would be getting some on my YouTube live stream. It'd be like, well, Xena, 5 o'clock isn't, it's a bad time. Everyone's busy and iffin'. Yeah, I know. Well, okay, I guess I'm going to end this YouTube live stream. I was going to do it for at least maybe another hour, but no one's on here, and it is what it is, which is sad, I mean, it is sad that this is my first YouTube live stream I did where no one came on. I'm not making that up. No one came on. You know, which is actually sad since I really thought I would be getting men and women on my YouTube live stream. But sadly, it is what it is. Nobody wants to be on my YouTube live stream. I also think, and this shitty thing keeps going off my elbow. Okay, it's a shitty thing. It's really sad. I really thought that there would be men and women coming on my YouTube live stream by now. I thought some of my followers would be on, but I guess I was wrong about that. Well, I guess it was only a spurt. They first went on my YouTube live streams at first, but now they're like, oh, it's just going to be XENA, and she's a doll. So who wants to go on that YouTube live stream? Nothing good happening on that one. You know, nothing good coming out of that one, sadly. Well, that's it for me. That was our YouTube live stream talking about the first Thanksgiving in the United States. And I guess nobody else was coming on, which is sad, XENA says. Which is sad, Dylan. No one wants to be on your mother's YouTube live stream. What do you think? Yeah, just what I think, Dylan. It's sad that nobody wants to be on your mother's YouTube live stream. So that's it. I guess I'll have to end it. You know, I thought I'd be getting others on my YouTube live stream, but guess I'm not. So that's about it from me. I'm XENA Warrior Princess, XENA Pappas, XENA Vinfipolis, XENA Warrior Mom, and I'll see you all later. Sad for that burp. But hey, why not? Before I leave, XENA says, I got something I got to show off everybody, so hold on. This YouTube live stream might not be a complete, failure. Might not be a complete loss. Well, right here we got Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. All 6 seasons, got it last Saturday from Walmart. And yes, it does got all 6 seasons. They are color-coded. GreatTVShows.com also did as well. So it is what it is. Sad for that burp. So, well, here's the front as I show you. And here's the back. So, well, XENA says that's basically all I'm going to do. You know, show off Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. Well, that's it for me. Ow! Alright, that's it. I'm XENA Warrior Princess. XENA Vinfipolis, XENA Pappas. And I'll see you all later. Bye. Which is kind of sad. I thought I'd be getting